What's up, SNA fans? This is Super Ninja Austin back here with another video. Alright, and then where Super Ninja Austin is going to be talking about the wildest wrestling news stories and rumors that you SNA fans need to know from the WrestleZone article on January 26, 2024. First off on today's wrestling news video, and that is some Vince McMahon news being sued for sexual assault and sex trafficking. And there's more news about this trial of Vince McMahon has found himself in another lawsuit that is likely to land him in more hot water than before. The Wall Street Journal has reported that Jano Grant filed a lawsuit against Vince McMahon and WWE alleged sex trafficking. Grant was previously unnamed woman who revealed multiple allegations against McMahon in 2022. A non-disclosed agreement was signed between McMahon and Grant in 2022, and McMahon agreed to pay Grant $3 million, which I could have sworn it said dollars that he paid. But anyway, I'll be right back. It says right here for $3 million. The money was for Grant to their relationship. Alleged dollar was received. Grant's lawsuit now seeks to avoid the NDA and additional financial damages. Grant has filed a complaint in the U.S. District Court for the District of Connecticut against Vince McMahon, Mr. John Laurinaitis, and WWE for the following charges: violation of the Trafficking Victims Prevention Act, TVPA, against McMahon and Laurinaitis, participate in venture in violation of the TVPA against the WWE, and not in the negligence, negligence against the WWE, civil battery against all defendants, and it says intentional or negligent infliction of emotional distress against all the defendants, and it is declare declaratory relief. More details of on his lawsuit against Vince McMahon. Okay, I'll be right back. What happened to TV? Oh, it's off? Okay. Okay. Hey, man. No. This one? Pink versus blue? Okay. Let's go back. But it says more details on today's lawsuit against Vince McMahon. Here are some of the bullet points regarding today's lawsuit against Vince McMahon. Mr. McMahon and Mr. Laurinaitis on WWE property and using WWE funding, both engaged in sexual assault and trafficking of Ms. Grant, both for their own pleasure and as a pawn to secure talents deals with prospective wrestlers like they were recruiting. And it says Mr. McMahon repeatedly used sex toys toys named after other WWE employees, wrestlers, and performers to sexual groom Ms. Grant for trafficking to those same names or those same people. I mean, not same to those same people. During this relationship, Mr. McMahon would shower Ms. Grant with gift cards and empty work positions, while at the same time threatening her livelihood and her reputation if she wouldn't succumb, damn it, to succumb to his increasingly depraved sexual depraved de- depraved sexual demands, including dissemin- disseminating pornography of Miss Grant to thousands of individuals and engaging in sex acts with other WWE employees, some of whom were complete strangers. On one such occasion, Mr. McMahon and Mr. Laurinaitis are alleged to have raped Ms. Grant in a WWE conference room, ignoring her protests and saying no means yes and take it bitch. A statement from General Jane or Janelle Grant's on Grant's attorney on the Vince McMahon lawsuit. Grant's attorney and Callis of Holland Law Firm issued the following statement following the release of the article, stating today's complaint seeks to hold accountable to WWE executives who sexually assaulted and trafficked plaintiff Grant Janelle General General Grant, as well as the organization. And why did it do that? Damn it. Sorry. blind eye, or turned a blind eye. Incredibly private and encourages a person courageous who has suffered deeply at the hands of Mr. McMahon and Mr. Laurinaitis. Ms. Grant hopes that her lawsuit will prevent other women from being victimized. The organization is well aware of Mr. McMahon's history of that. They take responsibility for their misconduct of its leadership. In addition to Vince McMahon and John Laurinaitis, current WWE superstar Brock Lesnar is also named in the article by the Wall Street Journal. And it says, right, oh yeah, no, I don't need to say that. But anyways, what's your thoughts on this news? And also, it says Brock Lesnar's name is also on this. Like, what did he do to be involved in this trafficking lawsuit? I'll say assault and sexual assault and trafficking. Yeah, that's what I should say. Yeah. And what's your thoughts on this? And do you think Miss Janelle Grant, I hope I pronounced that right, by the way. If I haven't, please correct me if I'm wrong. I apologize. I'm trying to make sure I pronounce everybody's name properly and correctly, like the way they would pronounce it. Like, anyways, yeah, Janelle, what's her name? Janelle Grant. That's what her last name is as well. Yeah, Janelle Janelle Grant. Yeah. What's your thoughts on her in this lawsuit against Vince McMahon and John Laurinaitis? And do you think she's going to win, or do you think Vince McMahon's going to find a way to win this? For him and Mr. Laurinaitis' sake. Let me know in the comments down below. And do you think this would jeopardize Brock Lesnar's return for, if he has anything wrong and had anything to do with this whatsoever? Possible, it could be possible. There's a possibility that it may be the case. Let's move on to the next news, and that is, I wouldn't put it past, but I feel sorry for the Beast Incarnate of being in this, because he got himself into doing this, or maybe Vince McMahon made him do this in order to keep his job. But if that was the case, if I was Brock Lesnar, I would say, I am a happily married man, and I am not going to be doing this. And you can take this, company and shove this where it don't shine, at the time. And besides, he was only in the program with Roman Reigns at this time, in 2022. So it's not like he was doing much anyways. But I'll say, yeah, that would be more my opinion on it. But Brock Lesnar did this because he loved the company and he would do anything for it. But that doesn't mean you put yourself involved to harm a woman. That's unacceptable. But let's move on to the next news now, and that is Samoa Joe celebrated AEW title win in spades, overjoyed about Suicide Squad Raw. And yeah, Samoa Joe is settled in and ready to defend the gold. And it says, on an interview with WrestleZone's senior editor Matt Black, recently spoke with the current AEW World Champion, to promote his involvement in the Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League video game. Joe plays the role of King Shark in the upcoming game. And it says, before discussing the Rocksteady the published game, Joe, what's wrong with my phone right now? I don't have time for this. Excuse me. But anyways, yeah. Okay, back to the. Sorry about the interruptions of my phone, because my phone's very incompetent right now. I need to get a new one. But yeah, that'll be very soon. But anyways, let's move on to the next. Let's move on to this and just continue to talk about what Samoa Joe had to say. Like with Joe, Joe was asked in an interview, like with the New York. No, I'm looking at the wrong. Like in the King, like with the King Shark. But here's what he had to say while they were at the New York Post. Joe said, like, he was asked in the interview that if he held that Adam Cole's devil reveal took away from his title celebration, Joe said no, because he's not a child. He then sarcastically asked if he was supposed to hug kids and high five a bald eagle. He said, or Joe didn't have a, let's say Joe didn't have a traditional on-air celebration, but Black followed up and asked what a no expenses spared champion like party would look like. He said, well, that's the thing, actually. I celebrated in spades. I immediately took a private jet to London to celebrate with friends and family amongst the beautiful downtown crowd down there in London, after which I flew back to the United States, down to Miami for a few days, Joe explained. I rented a boat to took it out for a little bit, did a little championship cruise, headed back to my house, and now we settle in and now we're ready to defend the championship. The toughest sheep, he said, the toughest sheep I slaughtered. Like the toughest sheep I slaughtered, and this was Samoa Joe's first test as AEW champion, was the title defense against Hook on the January 17th episode of AEW Dynamite, a week from this past Wednesday. Walked away victorious, but Hook was a worthy opponent. And he then added, "What a tough kid. I mean, of all the lambs that I've slaughtered lately, that was by far the toughest sheep I've ever had encountered. Let's be honest. Here, I mean, Hook is very young. He's a very tough and very durable individual, incredibly strong for his size. I will admit that, but when it comes down to it, he's the type of dangerous individual that I knew I needed to squash out. It immediately, immediately, you gotta go after the dangers in this world, and you know he's a he's a very, very dangerous young man who's still becoming the predator that someday he hopes. I was more than happy. I reminded him like of reminded him of his place in the in the gr- in the great in the greater scheme. Oh, dang it! Yeah, in the greater scheme. Come on, no. Okay, I got it back on. In the greater scheme of things, and how the food chain works, and suicide. And he also explained the Suicide Squad, his role in Suicide Squad killed the Justice League. Like uh, it said on Rocksteady's video game is tied to the Ark the Arkham universe the developer established over the course of games. Joe spoke about what it means to be part of Rocksteady family. He call it uh, call it a surreal experience and a great honor. Samoa Joe then continue explaining, "I'm overjoyed. It's fantastic. Oh, like opportunity to create something with a company that created a trilogy that brought me the trilogy that brought me hours of they brought me a trilogy of hours of enjoyment." And he continued saying, "We and that's I paid through in full. It's just surreal. In a lot of instances, two of two to see I'm in a game for Rocksteady, and for maybe the average person that may not be a huge thing, Samoa Joe pointed out, but for people who are involved in games who know what the Arkham series meant to the industry as as a as a whole, how gender like that defying how gender defying it was how much modern day action games are kind of really based on the principles set for set forth in Arkham. I meant it was an easy yes, and it was a tremendous honor. And he's I make it, and he explained, he said, making it my own. With Joe continuing saying, King Shark has been portrayed quite a bit in various forms of media in recent years. This includes a memorable performance by Sylvester Stallone, like in James Gunn's 2021 Suicide Squad film. Joe Joe says he didn't try to borrow from any of them for his version. Like instead, he tried to make it his own. Like since Shark's range was a different be, was so different between the other betrayals. He said, I think by default, I kind of had to do the make it my own make it my own approach because the different versions of King Shark are so vastly different. There's so much, man, from a mindless savage beast to very funny comedic sidekick to like his hand line in the Suicide Squad. I mean, he really runs the gamut of a lot of different characters. Joe said, like I know this shark was different. I mean, was definitely one of the hyper intelligence like us side he definitely is a character that been kind of locked away from the world, but he has read everything about it and is beyond excited to be out in the and yeah out in it and yeah it's definitely more in a shark field in the shark field with one wonder, Joe explained, but mainly because he's finally being unleashed world on the world, and he's just taking it all in having a lot of fun. And it says Suicide Squad. Okay, my phone is being absolutely irritated. Okay, it says Suicide Squad Killed the Justice League will be released on February 2nd, 2024 for the PlayStation 5 and X for PC as well. And what are your guys' thoughts on Samoa Joe's opinions about how he plays the role of King Shark, and also what's your thoughts on Samoa Joe's opinions about Hook with him when he faced him last week for the AEW World Championship, which is the same match that Tony Khan was bragging on Jinder Mahal on in WWE. What are your guys' thoughts about him saying like he's the biggest the biggest difficulties of slaughtering that particular sheep? I should say metaphorically, of course. This was the biggest task of slaughtering. This was the most difficult lamb that he slaughtered, I should say. Would you compliment him? He's a very what word? I call him a very tough kid. That's what I should say. Yeah, that's what you said. He's a very he he's very tough, and he's very what's that word I would say? Brutal. Yeah, I'll say in my case I'll say brutal, but he's more of a tough kid, and he wasn't very easy to beat. But he still managed to put him to sleep, and then he's still your and he's not ready to creep, or is he? Which I was trying to do a perfect rhyme right there, but I'm not sure if I got it right. But anyways, but he did celebrate it as AEW champion. He did let Adam Cole be in the reveal of the new devil way of his celebration. Like he said, he went as soon as he won the AEW championship, he headed right to London to play some spades with some family and friends, celebrate the new year with them there in downtown, and also came back to Miami and went for a ride on the boat that he rented, which I believe that's how I would have done it. Like if I won the AEW championship, celebrated with friends and family, did something fun, whether if it's out of the country, out of state, or whatever it may be, and then get ready to defend it when it's time for a title match on the pay-per-view. But yeah, let me know in the comments below what you're say. Yeah, and also about the playing the King Shark. I don't think he needed the for anybody that played the role, playing the voice of King Shark, Suicide Squad or Harley Quinn series in the DC. It says right here. It says interview with visual concepts. Brian Williams and Leno Jinx or Jinx. Yeah, I guess it is Jinx. It says right here on an interview with WrestleZone's Matt Black speaks with visual concept with concept Brian Williams and Linnell 2K24. They discuss new additions, features and changes in WWE 2K24 in the 2K showcase covering 40 years of WrestleMania gameplay, weapon collision, weapon collision detection. My apologies for the stutter. My faction and criticism, new returning camera angles, and more. What are your thoughts on to this from this interview with Mr. Brian Williams and with Mr. Brian Williams and Linnell Jinx, I believe. I'm assuming this is a female, I believe. I don't know. But this is the game developers of 2K24. And you think it's a very cool game? It's going to be like a more modern version of SmackDown versus Raw series. Like on the new gaming consoles, which I'm hoping it's still going to be on Xbox One and PS4. But if not, it'll still be a great game, and I'll still get the game. Which I know is definitely going to be on Xbox Series S and X consoles and even PS5 or PlayStation 5, I should say. If you want to fully properly want to say the name, of course. Considering their new games, that they're definitely going to be on those particular consoles. But I think they'll probably put them on the Xbox One and the Xbox One and PS4 for one more year, if not next year on 2K25, and then they'll end it that way, like for a whole decade of making it on the console. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below on that, and let me know in the comments down below on also about the game developers explaining that there will be the 40 years of WrestleMania on showcase mode, and also there'll be some new details on my faction, gym mode, and then also there's going to be new additions on Universe mode as well, and also gameplay in general, especially with weapons and when you hit the like chair shots or any other weapon, there'll be like new updated collision chairs or kendo sticks or baseball bats or just call it plain bats, hockey sticks, or even guitars, like the return of guitars. And then we have kendo sticks. Wherever you get hit, it's gonna be more in a realistic shot when you get hit with such maneuvers. But let's move on to the next news, which is more news about 2K22. And that's 2K24, my bad. It says women's wrestling wrapped up. Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair on. It says news about. It says with women's wrestling wraps up, Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair. WWE 2K24 cover Deanna Purrazzo and Toni Storm set to face to face in Saraya in a Sabre interview and more. Okay, we're gonna start off with the women's wrestling news. Sammy. We got some. First we're gonna start off with Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair set for cover of WWE 2K24 Deluxe Edition. Like, WWE kicked off this week with a major announcement revealing that Cody Rhodes and Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley will be gracefully on the cover of the new upcoming WWE 2K24 video game. WWE's yearly video game will be released on Tuesday, March 5th, with the Deluxe and 40-year of WrestleMania edition 3 days later. The Standard Edition will drop, as well as previously announced the American Nightmare Edition. This also marks the first time in history in history that two women have been positioned on a WWE 2K cover and being co-star cover of the game as well, not to mention. But anyways, it says this is an incredible milestone, and this is what Bianca Belair had to say on WWE.com exclusive interview, saying this is an incredible milestone in my career. I'm so excited to show the world why WWE must have in the EST game for every WWE fan and gamer. Belair told, and it was proud to add this accomplishment to her budding, like resume her saying, I've proven myself to be the most whole Women's World Championship. Ripley said, earning a superstar is only fitting. I'm proud to add to my list of accomplishments. accomplishment. WWE Chief Officer Paul H. Levesque has since commented on the news, congratulating the three. I got with him tweet Levesque wrote, congratulations to three game-changing superstars that have earned the right to be the faces of WWE 2K24. And here's the tweet and post that he posted on X, formerly known as. Give you 10 extra seconds to read from the top caption that Triple H tweeted. And if you need more time, I would recommend you to pause this video. But what are you guys, or what are your guys' opinions to this onto this achievement from these three WWE superstars? That's the cover star. Let me know in the comments down below. And yeah, this is the first time I've seen two women being co-cover stars in the WWE video game overall. Which I want to say, I want to give a huge congratulations to the Eradicator and the EST of achieving this goal. And I'll say they're probably going to be in some big WrestleMania matches with, I believe Rhea's going to be in a match against Becky, and then Bianca with Jade Cargill. But yeah. But I'll say, but that's my opinion on the matter. I think that's my prediction. I think they're going to be in pretty much in those matches. Becky Lynch can win the Royal Rumble. If we can start a program with the former TBS champion and the former multi-time WWE Women's Champion. But let's move on to the next news, and that is we got some face-to-face. We got a meetup with a face-to-face between Deonna Purrazzo and Toni Storm. With Deonna Purrazzo made it clear, she is after the current AEW Women's Champion on the heels of her victory over Red Velvet on AEW Collision, and was tasked with face and the week's episode of AEW Dynamite. After with her after conquering the Queenslayer, Purrazzo provided. Come on, no. It said that Purrazzo then pivot her attention to the current AEW Women's Champion, Timeless Toni Storm. Purrazzo previously called out Storm during her AEW return. I previously called out Purrazzo AEW return earlier this month. That's what it is. Oh yeah, she did wrestle on AEW, but it was for the Ring of Honor Women's Champion against Mercedes Martinez. But anyway, that's a story for another time. All Elite Wrestling, and it says, and earlier this month, and it says during a post-match interview, it said Deonna Purrazzo pointed out that Storm has changed in recent years, much like Purrazzo has herself. While Storm may have known Purrazzo from their past interactions, Purrazzo insisted that Storm has yet to properly meet the technically savvy present day Vertosa in response Storm. referred to her as an artificially tanned hag. That's what Tony Storm said about Deanna Purrazzo. Sounds like a sounds like some kind of actress, like undersea fish actress from SpongeBob would say to another woman. But anyways, I go on the SpongeBob episode. But anyways, let's continue this. Reading this article saying to her, I already said that Storm's ally Mariah May then launched a shoe in Purrazzo's direction, and then tomorrow evening, Purrazzo and Storm will now meet face to face in an interview segment on AEW Dynamite. Oh yeah, we already knew what exactly happened in the face to face, where Deanna Purrazzo even said that she even stayed or even lived with her, like, and got started and that's where she started when she started her wrestling career, like the independents, and they were roommates, like living in Deanna Purrazzo's house, and they even had matching tattoos. And then this is where Tony Storm's like, I don't know how to get there, but you could take this and shove it up where it doesn't shine at. But yeah, but this is where they start throwing shoes at each other. This is where Deanna Purrazzo hit her with that arm bar. This is where Luther got the mass majority of it, like getting hit right to the face, and then Mariah May had to grab Tony Storm and drag her out of the arena, and then that's how that's the segment that's what all started, like from start to finish, like basically explaining the segment, of course. WWE Smack, but yeah, and we also have WWE SmackDown. Shotzi spoke with Jim Varsalone about the 2024 Royal Rumble, and Marion in Las Vegas, the upcoming SmackDown episode in Miami of her journey in WWE, competing in the 2023 Women's War Games match, and much more. And then while speaking, no, I'm saying like right here. But I'm just gonna talk about the next one. It's Soraya news now, and the Super Saber, like Soraya spoke with Ella J of WrestleZone, like, and it said about Effie's Big Day Brunch, like on 8 day brunch 8, debuting on the 2023 QWI, and how the likes of Kenny Omega and Kazuchika Okada helped reignite her love for wrestling, drawing gear inspiration from Dragon Ball Z and more. And what's your thoughts on that? Let me know in the comments about below. Well, there's not really much to talk about, just about Okay, I'm just gonna have to move on to the next wrestling news article, which is about Tony Khan. Yeah, and Tony Khan of 20, like saying 2024 is AEW's next 2021 for the company. And Tony Khan teases that big things are in store for AEW. AEW CEO Tony Khan has previously shared his belief that 2024 could be AEW's biggest year, yet the company is set to return to Wembley Stadium for the second year yet. For the second, not yet, I mean, for the second year in a row. Second year in a row, and it will mark the company's first full year with Collision. Like their third year weekly televised show, which is AEW Rampage. Like additionally, AEW has been linked to major what's it linked I'd say major free agents like from the likes of Kazuchika Okada and Mercedes Moné, while they have already signed Will Ospreay and Deonna Purrazzo. And, and in a tweet on January 26th, Tony Khan teased that some surprise are coming. Like he wrote that 2024 is the next 2021 for AEW. And, and he said 2021 was a significant year for AEW. Former WWE champion CM Punk signed with the company and debuted at AEW Rampage, the first dance. Plus, AEW All Out 2021 featured a double debut of Bryan Danielson and Adam Cole. And there's the tweet right here saying AEW is AEW 24 AEW is the next 2021 AEW. While wearing the 2020 while we're showing them wearing the 2021 glasses from the New Year's of 2021 3 years ago. And do you think he's going to sign Kazuchika Okada and Mercedes Moné, the former IWGP Men's and Women's Champion, like he did with Deonna Purrazzo and Will Ospreay? Let me know in the comments down below. Or do you think they're going to go to WWE, or either one goes to WWE and the other one goes to AEW, respectively, like whatever the scenario may be? But let's move on to the next wrestling news. And do you think any debuts or do you think it's going to be any like another surprising announcement of a new event that's going to be on either any month from now, like in February or April or whenever pay-per-view it could possibly be, yeah, whatever it may be, yeah. Which I think he's probably referring to a debut, or not. I'll say maybe a debut, but like a new signing. The best term to use. Yeah, that'll be kind of surprising if it is the former IWGP Women's Champion. But anyways, let's move on to the next news, which is John Cena and more John Cena and more stars in trailer for Ricky Stanicky. Yeah, I pronounced that correctly. But anyways, a trailer for John Cena's new movie has been released. On Prime Video has shared the official trailer for Ricky, a new film starring John Cena and Zac Efron, William H. Macy. Come on. What is wrong with this? Oh yeah, and more. The film directed by Peter Farrelly. Farrelly. I hope I pronounced that correctly, Mr. Farrelly. But anyways, Will previously, yeah, Will, I, I directed by Peter Farrelly, will premiere on Prime Video on March 7th of this year. And it says, it's a deadline previously. I reported that at the film centers around three friends who invent a character to use to get out of tricky predic, predicaments. Predicaments. Fictional friend when their significant others become suspicious. You know what? It's not working right now. So, but yeah, what are your thoughts on this new movie with all-star cast with the likes of John Cena and Zac Efron being in it, which is called the what's his name? Ricky Stanarchy. What? Yeah, I believe that's what his name is. Stanarchy. That's what. But yeah, basically about this imaginary friend that they made up that for so if their wives respectively or significant others you want to call whoever you want to call them be suspicious about what they're doing like when they're not around, so they'll make it look like that they're not uh, cheating on them or doing something that they're not supposed or other things that they're not supposed to be doing. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below on what your thoughts onto this latest wrestling news of John Cena playing the role of this movie. Oh, that's going to be airing on the streaming service of Prime Video by March 7th, I believe. But yeah, and for those who have a subscription with Prime Video and that's very interested in the movie, I would likely recommend you to watch this video for yourself. I mean, this movie for yourself. I'll say I probably might give it a go of watching the movie. Like whenever whenever I would watch, it, of course, yeah. Like whenever it released, of course, I should say in March 7th. But anyway, but anyway, we got some TNA news of the debut of a former WWE superstar, which it's been revealed from last night's TNA event, which is none other than Mustafa Ali himself. Is set to for multiple dates in TNA wrestling, which I'm not sure. I apologize for saying he signed a deal, but I'll say he made his debut on TNA last night. The news in a tweet on January 26th, as he shared his upcoming schedule. Multiple TNA shows are part of the lineup, though TNA has yet to confirm the news. Ali listed that on TNA no surrender, like sacrifice, like in March television taping in Philadelphia on his schedule. The last listed TNA date on the schedule in March 23rd, and it is not clear whether Ali will continue working with TNA beyond that point, which it says right here was from February 9th till March 28th or 30th. March 30th, yeah. The tour of the next 2 months of him being right here on his post on X. And do you think that Mustafa Ali is or going to sign a full-time deal with the Nashville-based promotion, or do you think it's I do what's your thoughts on this? Do you think that Mustafa Ali is going to be signing or already signed a full-time deal with the Nashville-based company, or do you think it's going to be a one-off, or not one-off? I'll say more like it's going to be like a part-time gig for him to do on TNA, like, and it's just only a couple. He signed a deal for a couple of months. Let me know in the comments down below. But it says WrestleZone will monitor the situation and provide more information as it becomes available. But yeah, let me know in the comments below what's the status of Mustafa Ali is now going to be associating with TNA Impact Wrestling and be wrestling and in their shows, like in the weekly base on their Thursday night show and whatever events they have going on like in certain parts of the city, like whether that being in New York or Philadelphia, Los Angeles, Brooklyn, Chicago, Toronto, New Orleans, even London, and even Seattle as well. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below on what's the status of this contract or whatever deal he made with TNA in the of the sort. Stay tune in the comments down below. And we got some Nia Jax news, like up next, like with her comments on allegations against Vince McMahon. And it says Nia Jax is all business, even as allegations against Vince McMahon continue to spark controversy. On January 25th, Vince McMahon was named in a lawsuit that alleged him of sexual assault and sexual trafficking. A spokesperson like for Vince McMahon like subsequently said the lawsuit was like with lies. While speaking with Nick Hausman, like of House of Wrestling, Jax was asked about Jax was asked about the allegations against Vince McMahon and how they have affected her ahead of WWE Royal Rumble. She said, "Oh, it doesn't like like I'm all business." Nia Jax said, and you know this business is built on hard work and dedication, and that's what every single wrestler in the room is doing right now. And so we just move forward, and it's, and we're gonna put on an amazing show. Jax will compete in the Women's Royal Rumble on Saturday, which is tomorrow, of course. WrestleZone will have complete coverage of the show as it airs. And what are your guys' thoughts on Nia Jax's comments about there's nothing feasible about what Vince McMahon has done, when he was chairman at the time of allegedly assaulting and trafficking this woman that he paid $3 million to, and non-disclosure agreements, payments, I should say, yeah. And do you and what's your and do you and do you think that everybody in WWE, like with the new new management and producers and wrestlers and people in creative are not being phased about what Vince McMahon and John Laurinaitis done, like in their time as executives of the company, like they not worrying about what happened then, and that's all on them. Like whatever they did, whatever they committed, that's going to be all on them, and they're going to have to take counterability, like for their actions. Like if they did such a claim, they did such claims from this woman named Janelle Grant. Like, but yeah, let me know in the comments down below if you if you think that Nia Jax is being honest into this from this interview with of House of Wrestling. So let's move on to the final wrestling news, which is some Kazuchika Okada news now. Come on, okay, yeah, we're going to end today's wrestling news with AEW sources are confident they will land Kazuchika Okada. A new report states that AEW is seen as the likely landing spot for Kazuchika Okada. Seven-time world champion Kazuchika Okada is set to leave New Japan Pro Wrestling after the end of his contract. He will finish up with the company in February. Okada has been linked to WWE and AEW. Some fans have wondered whether TNA could be a dark horse as well. He also made a one-off return to the company at the Snake Eye tapings earlier this month. Mike Johnson of PW Insider reported that Kazuchika Okada has no future appearance lineup with TNA. Furthermore, he states that AEW is seen as the far more likely landing point for him than WWE. Johnson writes that per sources familiar with the matter, there have been few, if any, discussions between Okada's side of WWE. The report notes that Okada has been loyal to the Young Bucks for years. They formed a bond back in Okada's time in TNA in 2010. Additionally, Johnson reports that Okada scheduled for the Rumble in January 27th, which is tomorrow, of course. In the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Dave Meltzer reports that AEW is confident that both Kazuchika Okada and Mercedes Moné will start with the company soon. Meltzer states that the most recent word was the Okada had not made up his mind. However, sources are confident that they will land him. They will land him. Like, and it says Shamrock Sapp of Fightful writes that he has heard much of the same about Kazuchika Okada and AEW's confidence that they will land him. And it says WrestleZone will provide more information as it becomes available. And what's your thoughts on the status of Kazuchika Okada becoming a free agent? And is he WWE bound or AEW bound? And like when he's gonna debut, if he's either of those bounds? Like, is it gonna be at the Royal Rumble? Is it gonna be at AEW Revolution? Is it gonna be at WrestleMania, or is it gonna be at AEW Double or Nothing, or any of the random episodes of either WWE or AEW shows? Let me know in the comments down below. And we're going to see like where he's going to land next, which is a very tough choice to choose from right now. He could be on either show because it says it also been reported that both WWE and All Elite AEW Wrestling has been interest into the former IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, aka the Rainmaker. And we're just going to have to see where he's going to make his United States of America or United States of American Wrestling debut at. But yeah, yes, sir, and ma'am. That's the latest wrestling news video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. And which one was your favorite out of this list? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you love this video, make sure to hit the thumbs up button, subscribe, click the bell notifications so you can be the first one so you won't miss my next upcoming video. And make sure to check out the SmackDown Rampage review later on tonight. And who's going to wrestle tonight on SmackDown? And it was somebody who's going to be in the match. All I know is we got a big face-to-face event. Like, we got, what's that? Oh, yeah, there's two things like that's going to happen. A face-to-face event between Karrion Kross and the Authors of Pain and Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits, which I believe the Street Profits and Bobby Lashley are going to get their revenge by giving AOP and Karrion Kross the beating that they deserve. Like, after they have their respective words they need to say to each other, which it's not going to be looking good. And then also we have the women's tag team championships on the line between Kaden Carter and Katana Chance against the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane. Which who you think is gonna walk out as the women's tag team champions? I think Kaden Carter, Katana Chance are gonna retain, and they're gonna be exactly like what they were on NXT as the longest reigning women's tag team champions, and they're gonna be holding those titles for at least half of the year, perhaps dethroning Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler and the Iconics' reign as tag team champions in the process. But yeah, but hopefully you guys are going to have a great Friday afternoon, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Until we meet again, Super Ninja Austin, the assassin, is out of here. Bye-bye, my SNA fans. See you tonight on the review videos.